Okay, I switched the question around a bit. Actually, this one isn't the greatest question because you can factor it. But unfortunately, you use the quadratic equation in this one. Ideally, if I had enough time, I would have gave you a question you couldn't factor, very difficult to complete the square, and apply everything else. Okay, so this is why I just want to force you to use the quadratic formula so you get used to using it, writing it. But before I get there, I'm actually going to get to axis of symmetry first. I don't know if you guys remember from the video. Right? To get to axis of symmetry, what was the formula to get to axis of symmetry? We can always get to axis of symmetry very quickly now. Sabrina?
Was it minus b over 2a?
Yeah, minus b over 2a. Okay? So first let's take a step back. My a value is what in this equation? What's my a value? Sean? It'll be 5. What's my b value? Sorry?
14. Oh, negative.
Yeah, we need the sign there, so it's negative 14. And c is negative 3. Okay? So we just plug in the b's and the a's. So axis symmetry is a negative 14 divided by 2 times a, which is 5. So that gives us positive 14 over 10, and that reduces to 7 over 5. Okay? So if we quickly get axis of symmetry. And in fact, even from here, how can we get the vertex? We just plug it in. Right? So the vertex is y is equal to 5 times 7 over 5 squared minus 14 times 7 over 5 minus 3. So that's equal to 5 times 49 over 25 minus 14 times 7, thank you, minus 98 over 5. And I'm just going to convert that to a fraction over 5, so it's going to be minus 15 over 5. So they're going to reduce a 5, so that's going to be 5 there. So this goes 49 over 5 minus 98 over 5 minus 15 over 5.
Equals 49 minus 49 over 5.
Minus 49, so minus 64 over 5.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's going to be the vertex. So therefore, the vertex is 7 over 5ths, comma minus 64. Minus 64 over 5. Okay? So even before we use the quadratic formula to find the x-intercept, so I can't quite graph this if I wanted to graph it because I don't have the vertex. Right? Ideally I want the x-intercept so I get those 3 points. But now I know a lot of things about this equation now. Is this a max or a minimum? Minimum? Because it's opening up, right? So what's that minimum value? Negative 64 over 5. And at what point does it achieve that negative 64 over 5? No? No? You can take any more guesses? Running out of options. Right? Yeah. Basically, the minimum value is achieved when x is equal to 7 over 5. And that's what the vertex. Okay? So let's go back to the original equation.
Growing it up, this is wrong. I don't know. You still find it? Oh.
So the quadratic equation again is x is equal to minus b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Okay? Memorize this formula because it will be your best friend. Minus 4ac.
I wrote minus.
Questions up here? Yeah, go ahead. So here x is equal to minus, what's the value of d? 14
It's so smart. And it's so cool.
plus or
Oh my god,
minus
what is that?
square root of minus 14 squared
How many do you want?
Can I take that notebook?
Yeah, when I have tapes.
plus a bar.
Actually, what is this one? Is it new?
And my c value is
Should I take
in
Yeah, just take
It's like a grade 12's book.
Yeah, well, who is it? No, it's grade
all
9
over
because Leah is a
2
grade
times
Megan. It's fine.
negative 3. Well, 5.
Can take that as a sign.
There's take the binder.
There's room here. Yeah, I did this one.
So now it's just a matter of just arithmetic. So negative of a negative is just positive 14 plus or minus square root of 14 squared, please.
196.
Thank you. 196 minus 20 times negative 3 is 60, so that turns into positive 60 all over 10. That's equal to 14 plus or minus 196 plus 60 is 100. 256 over 10. So x is equal to 14 plus or minus square root of 256 is. So therefore, x is equal to 14 plus 16 over 10, or x is equal to 14 minus 16 over 10. So here we get 30, x is equal to 30 over 10, which is 3, or x is equal to negative 2 over 10, which is x is equal to negative 1/5. Okay? So if you chose to do this first, you can still get the axis symmetry by adding our zeros together, divided by 2, and we've got 7 over 5 as well. Okay? Any questions on this? Quadratic formula is pretty straightforward, right? It always works. And it tells you, you guys remember what this part was called? You guys remember what this part was called?
The discriminant.
Discriminant. And what happens if you discriminant? So b squared minus 4ac, if that was greater than 0, what does that mean?
Then there's,
Alex?
there's more than just one.
How many are there?
There's 2.
Yeah, so there's going to be 2 roots. Notice we'll have 2 answers, 2 valid answers for x. If this is equal to 0, what does that imply?
Then there's 1.
1 root?
One or two very close.
Well, I'm not going to contradict the Sedoma, but there's only 1
There's
root.
just 1 point on top of you.
Less than.
Because really there's only 1 answer that will satisfy that equation. And finally, if it's less than 0,
No real.
no, I need to see this. No real roots. It has imaginary roots, right? So to be mathematically correct, you have to say there's no real roots. So if I give you an equation, no matter what form, whether it's y equals ax plus ax squared plus bx plus c, or maybe in factor form. Actually, factor form will always have roots. Maybe it's in vertex form or something. If it's in any form, you can always determine if there's any real roots or not. And you can determine how many they are just by doing b squared minus 4ac. Okay, straightforward. So I have a question. Oh, I've got that.
Word problems,
So the length of a rectangle is 2 centimeters longer than the width. Did we do this one?
Yeah, we already did
You
that.
did triangle?
The one.
You did triangle?
Oh, I thought,
You did this for like a
are we doing a triangle one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Trigonometry.
Takes an extra step in the rectangle.
Bring your phone.
An extra step.
Have you learned trigonometry? Do you lie? It's different.
Sinus, cosine.
All that.
Okay, a right triangle has a sum of 15 centimeters for the base and height. What is the minimum value? Minimum value of the hypotenuse. So obviously you have to make a question top of your head.
Should be easy.
How do you?
Exact question.
I already wrote it down.
I already saw it.
Another cold word.
Basically, for some height.
You know what? Give me a second. I'll be right back.
And
I think you are after shit.
Where was it?
You're so proud of yourself. You know,
where should it come from? Where can
Stop the other one too. You start making comment. Don't waste my paper.
We were eating it.
Oh.
Yeah, no, bro, toss that one hard in the paint.
Wait, you're Christian?
Oh,
Oh my.
I'm walking here just making paper. This is
Nice.
why you're on the basketball team,
Nice.
right? This is where you don't start.
Yo, who should we try this?
Who's that?
Come here. We go try this. Alright, boys. Half court now. Ouches.
Well, look, it's back now.
This is completely my fault. Sorry. I throwing my paper out.
Sam, I'm your favorite, right?
Second favorite.
Who's the first? Does that mean you hate me? You're gonna say
Whoa!
that?
When did second favorite become worse? I don't get that.
Well, I figured you're being sarcastic.
Of course not. No, but this is what.
Girls want us.
I've had those since like
This is what I discovered.
What?
Believe it or not,
You're bribing us.
Alright, let's stop talking. Stop talking.
believe it or not, I can sell 3 of these.
I have money right now. I have money.
Okay,
I actually have.
I have
I
to
will
sell
pay
it.
my
You
own
can't have a
money.
bag, you're not gonna get it.
I can sell these 3, so I can sell Welch's for $4 each. $4 a pack.
$4 each.
But I'll only sell 3 of them. So I thought 3 suckers out there, or three very hungry people. My cup of TC almost paid me $10. He was so hungry and lost. Right? But I said like this. He's pulling out his wallet. But I could sell these for $4. But I could sell 3 of them, right? But what I discovered is that if I knock off a quarter, so I'll sell these for $3.75, right? I could actually sell 6 more,
I believe it.
right? So if I knock off, so if I just reduced my price by a quarter, that was enough to entice 6 more people to buy it. So basically, how many people have bought it then? How many people will buy it at $3.75?
No.
9, because you assume that people who bought it for $4 will obviously buy it for $3.75, right? But what I discovered, so every time I knock off a quarter, 6 more people will buy it. You kind of discover this is what happens in stores, right? This is why stores will sort of reduce it, right? They try to. So the question is, what should I sell these at to get maximum revenue?
Free.
Well, I could give it away. So the question is not how many I could get rid of. What's the most I could get rid of?
Oh, 1 cent.
It's how much should I set these at so I get maximum revenue.
Wait, is it 6 more for every 25 cents?
So I get 6 more for every 25 cents. Amanda,
Did you know how to feed them?
only if you get the question right.
What?
How many are in the box?
40.
40? Okay.
So how much should I sell this for to maximize my revenue? So revenue is basically the amount of money I take in just from sales. So it doesn't factor in costs, doesn't factor expenses. How much should I sell these for to maximize my revenue?
1 cent.
No.
1 cent, maybe.
2.75.
Yeah. Now, if you don't have expenses, then yeah.
No, that won't get me the most maximum revenue. Violet, you have an answer? 25 cents?
Yeah.
No.
$1.
So why you guys can guess all you want? Guess what we can do?
Use the 2-factor formula.
So,
Find the axis.
so everybody write this down. Everybody write this down.
Okay.
So the Welch's,
Me and Master Durgan got it.
how much?
$2.50.
$1.50?
No.
Shows that you got
Okay,
it.
we'll see. Okay, so the Welch's, for $4 a pack,
It's 25 cents.
So we just
It's 25 cents. You look at the.
yeah, because I can't think of one right now.
It is 25.
Okay,
Think that, yeah, 6 more.
I know y'all, I've never seen kids so excited this old over Welch's. Like seriously.
Lunch at 1.
Food, man.
We have lunch at 1.
Oh!
We're all hungry.
Can't just give up food.
We have lunch at
So
1.
stay with me now. $4 a pack, I almost found 3.
Did you? What?
Okay, so $4 a pack, I can only sell 3.
Why did you only sell 3?
Because only 3 people are willing to buy for $4. So if I reduce,
Maybe you should just take some business classes and get better at selling them.
I'll lie. Or I can really just hold you guys in until like in a school.
What if we don't have any money?
I have no. Yeah, I think you need some better.
So anyways, reduce, so if we reduce by 25 cents,
Huh? Yeah, I would take a marketing class.
so if we reduce it by 25 cents,
You can only sell 3.
6 more people will buy it. And I noticed this pattern. Is it a question or is it another comment?
Well, that said brand.
How did you notice
But
this
I figured
pattern?
it out. It's okay.
Market research. I don't know.
So,
I take a survey, I take a poll.
Okay.
I write down the direction. So for every 25 cents I reduce this, for every 25 cent reduction, I get 6 more people buying, or willing to buy.
okay.
what I could do is, I wanna let x, okay, I wanna let x be the number of times I reduce by 25 cents. The number of times I reduce price by 25 cents. Okay? So the question is, we use me for money. What is my revenue?
Let x equals
Number.
What is my revenue? In other words, how much money I earn, how much money I take in. Now, how much do I earn? How much money I take in from sales? Well,
Whatever the
it's
price.
the price per pack,
price per total pack.
right? The price per pack times what?
Packs.
Oh, weird.
So like,
The price per pack times what?
Times X.
No. Well, I'm not using X yet.
Packs
Number of
sold.
Like-
packs sold.
Sorry?
Packs sold.
Yeah, the amount sold, right? Number of packs sold. Okay? So that's really the equation, the general formula for revenue, right? The price of something and how much I actually sell it for. Okay? So what is the price per pack?
You tell us.
$2.
What is the price per pack?
$4.
Well, it starts off at 4. So it starts off at 4, right? But I'm subtracting,
Oh, okay.
but I'm subtracting
Yeah.
a quarter of $1, 25 cents. For every reduction I have. Right? So $4 minus 25 cents. Should I put 25 cents and make it more clear? Okay.
Guaranteed.
So minus a quarter for every reduction that I have, right? So I have, look guys, I really don't have to do this. Right? You know what? Here's the homework. Knock yourself off. By the way, the test is next Wednesday. The unit test is next Wednesday. Okay. Awesome. So really, it's your choice. You know, I'm trying to make this engaging. Doesn't need to be that way.
Okay.
I've been trying to do this for the last 15 minutes. So your choice. So how did I determine the number of packs sold? How do I determine the number of packs sold? How many am I selling? Alex?
you're selling
I'm selling 3, right? But that's only when it's $4.
Oh, you get
Oh,
square.
so, well, and also the number of time, because you said that it increases
So it increases
by 6 people.
for every reduction that I
Yeah,
have.
for every reduction, so.
Okay. So the price of the pack really is it's $3. The amount I sell is 3. Plus every time I reduce it, I get 6 more. So it's also like your linear equation back from grade 9, right? 6x plus 3. So my revenue really is R is equal to 4 minus 0. I'm going to use a fraction. Minus 1/4 x, 3 plus 6x. What kind of equation is that going to work out to be if I expand it? Yeah, it's going to be a quadratic equation, right? We've got x's there, right? We're going to x squared. So how do I find the maximum revenue? Sorry, the maximum number of times. Solve for x. What does solving for x give me? What does solving for x give me? Sabrina?
Gives you the intercept, but you need to find the vertex.
Yeah. Solving for x just gives me, well, at what point is my revenue 0? Right? Remember, solving for something means that we just want that to be 0, right? Don't want 0 revenue, we want the maximum revenue. So here we're looking for the vertex. Right? So how can I find the vertex on here? It's already nice, it's in factored form. Eric?
We have to multiply use FOIL.
I could FOIL, but it's already in factored form.
Make,
So if it's in factored form, what can I find there?
use, it's like the same thing. You make it 0,
Right?
so you go.
So I can still find the roots.
You go to the roots and you find average.
So we want to find the
Axis of symmetry.
axis of symmetry. So same thing,
You sum it back.
we want to find the roots. Okay, so here would be 4 is equal to 1/4 x, x is equal to 16. And here 3 or 6x is equal to -3, x is equal to -1/2. Right? So that does give me my zeros, but the reason I want to find these is I want my axis of symmetry. So axis of symmetry is 16 plus 1 -1/2 all over 2. So that is 31 over 2. Right? 16 times 2 is 32 minus 1 gives me 31 over 2. Sorry, 31 over 2 divided by 2. And so that gives me x is equal to 31 over 4. Okay? But what does x represent? The number of times they need to decrease the price. Right? So really, roughly, this is about 31 divided by 4 is 7.75.
Yeah.
So roughly around 8. Let's just say 8. Right? So x is equal to 7.75. Right? So I need to reduce this 7.75 times. So what's my cost per pack then? What's my cost per pack then? If I need to reduce it 7.75 times, what's my cost per pack? Eric?
$1.92.
Okay, how are you getting that?
I multiplied 7.75 by your quarter.
Well, cost per pack is $4 minus 0.25x, right? So this is $4 minus 0.25 times 7.75, and so that's equal to, what'd you say?
$1.92.
$1.92. Okay, so roughly around $2 a pack will maximize my revenue. So you were close, not quite $2.50, $2.
We still have
I was considering
There's only 40 things in there. There's only 40.
So how much revenue will I pull in at $2 a pack? How much revenue do I pull in at $2 a pack?
102.
Wait, can you go back?
So what's the revenue at $2 a pack? Yeah, so we're saying x is roughly 8. Nick?
Question, when you were finding the axis of symmetry, how'd you get x equals 16 from?
Over here,
It's one.
I solve for 4 minus 1/4 x is equal to 0. So 4 is equal to 1/4 x. Multiply both sides by 4. So I got x is equal to 16. Okay. Because they need to find the zeros, they need to find the roots, so I can find the midpoint.
You didn't say take away the factors, you just multiply by
You okay with this, Brenda?
Yeah.
So what's the revenue?
Can you go back?
Here.
For the axis of symmetry, how'd you get 31?
It's 31 over 2 divided by 2. So I added 16 minus a half. So 16 minus a half is same as 32 over 2 minus a half, which gives me 31 over 2. I still need to divide that by 2, which is same as multiplying by half, which gives me 31 over 4. Right? Fractional math. Be comfortable with it. So what's the revenue?
It's $95.54.
How did you calculate that?
I substituted x into our original.
Is that $2?
Into the original equation, so back into this one?
Yeah, and I substituted there instead of got cost.
Okay, well I can figure out how many packs I'm gonna sell.
So
Right,
you got
which is-
$2. You can't get any cents.
Well, number of packs
You can't split it up.
is 3 plus 6x. So that's equal to 3 plus 6 times 8.
Oh,
So it's 51 packs I'm gonna sell. Right.
I wrote
And
the
then at $2 a pack,
So say
I wrote the $1.
revenue. Implies a revenue of $102 So that's a maximum, near maximum amount, pretty close to maximum amount I can make from sales, $102. But the important thing is, I need to know, I need to price this at $2 a pack in order to maximize that in. Okay? So this is a cool way that you could, if you guys are doing business, right? Sort of introduction of that, right? What's the proper place? What's the proper price to match it? And, obviously you gotta do your research to find those other things that I did, right? How much will we reduce? How many more will people buy? Question, Amanda?
What's the number? Or packs?
Before packs, $2.
No, that one, the one above that.
$2.
No.
That's a number sign.
Okay.
Okay?
This is gonna be on the unit test.
You will have word problems. I don't know what word problems yet. The fact is that you tried to come up with a quadratic equation. So what is it that we do here? What was the magic word I was looking for? Maximum, minimum, right? And that triggered off this green and thinking, I gotta figure out what the vertex is, right? So word problem's gonna be, what's the maximum, what's the minimum? So you should find here something like that. You gotta figure out, okay, what is it I need to do?
You go back.
So another problem.
Whoa.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, not another basketball.
Do volleyball. I don't know if
Serena
Do a baseball one then.
Yeah, we're gonna settle.
Rachel and I go play catch again.
Do it.
Alright.
25 minutes.
So the path of a basketball, after it's thrown from a height of 1.5 meters above the ground, you have this equation. H is equal to, let me come out the square, so it'll be negative 0.25d squared plus 2d plus 1.5. Okay, where h is the height in meters and d is the horizontal distance. So the question is, how far has the ball traveled horizontally to the nearest tenth of a meter when it hits the ground?
D squared.
Yeah, this is supposed to be d squared. If that helps. Right? So with any word problem, everybody finish writing down the question?
No.
It's squared, right?
It's supposed to be negative 0.25d squared.
Otherwise,
It came out d2.
that,
When I changed the font size.
you.
So with any word problem,
Are you gonna give us those?
draw a picture.
No.
So here's a ball,
Creativity marks.
okay? And so here's the ground. So we want to find this distance where it hits the ground. Right? So first thing with word problem is just draw a picture. Right? So it's going to land right here. And this is the equation h is equal to negative 0.25 d squared plus 2d plus 1.5. So what's the value of h when d is 0? What's the value of h when d is 0? 1.5, it makes sense, right? So here is 0, comma 1.5. That's the height, that's where we're releasing the ball. So we have a coordinate plane right here, in red. So what is it that we're really looking for here? Yeah, we're looking for an x-intercept, we're looking for a 0. We just have to line up, the ground to be our x-axis. So given this equation, how can I find my x-intercept? Or how can I find my zeros? Rita?
Put H to 0 and solve for D.
Yeah, so we put h to 0 and solve for d, and is this a nice formula? So which one I'm going to use? What am I going to do? Quadratic equation, quadratic formula. So x, or in this case it's not x, it's d, is equal to minus b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. So d is equal to, what's the value of d? Value of b is 2 here. So minus 2 plus or minus the square root of 2 squared minus 4, and what's the value of a? Negative 0.25, value of c, 1.5, all divided by 2 times negative 0.25. So we just go off and solve for that. So we'll get an answer for that. Okay, calculators, negative 2 plus or minus the square root of 4 minus 4 times a quarter is 1 plus 1.5 all over negative 0.5 minus 2 plus or minus the square root of 5.5 divided by 5.5. So somebody give me the plus answer and somebody give me the negative answer. So negative 2 plus the square root of 5.5 divided by negative 0.5, what do we get?
Are we square rooting?
Yeah, take the square root of 5.5,
Okay.
add that to negative 2,
Yeah, 2.3, 30.
So to the nearest 10, 2.3?
Yeah, 2.3.
And what's the d value when we're subtracting square root of negative?
8.7.
Sorry?
I think I got
8.7? Okay, put that wrong here.
Yeah, so what number should be negative?
Yes.
Yeah, one
And
negative.
it's
It should be
negative
2
point
minus
six
9.
anything.
Yeah.
Second number.
You want to move over to the other side? So we'll move over here, does that help?
Yeah, one.
Negative 0.69 for adding.
Is negative 0.69 if we're adding,
Yeah.
negative 0.7, let's say then.
Okay.
If we're subtracting negative 2 minus square root of
Well,
5.5.
mine's negative.
It's negative 8.7. Here, can you get it right?
Can we write a calculator, please, Haley?
Yeah.
Used to this calculator.
One's
What, how
negative
would you-
8.7.
5.5 square root.
I got negative 8.6.
Yeah, same thing.
So square root of 5.5 is roughly 2.345. So I want to subtract negative 2, then divide by 0.5 negative. So negative 0.69, so that
Yeah.
we're adding it. So 2, negative 2 minus the square root of 5.5,
Why were we mad that I don't remember?
then divided by 0.5 negative.
Are you on something?
So this is 8.7.
108.
Thank you, Neil.
Always get it wrong.
So therefore, can distance be negative? Is it negative over here?
Yeah.
Well, if the ball happened to drop backwards, yeah. So therefore, d is equal to 8.7. Okay? So it lands, therefore it lands
I got negative for upper number.
8.7. We're dividing by negative, remember? Divide by negative 0.05. So it lands 8.7 meters away.
And it says how far has the ball traveled horizontally, and you throw it from 1.5.
In the air,
Yes.
so how far
So
away
it's probably negative.
from me?
3.5C. So wouldn't it be?
It's negative.
8.7. We figured out our two roots are negative 0.7 and 8.7. So negative 0.7 is over here, right? So if I shot it backwards, that's where it would have went.
So would the distance from one root to the other root be 8.7?
No, the distance is from 0, right? I mean, this is our coordinate here, 8.7,
Oh, right.
comma 0, right? Yeah, you're thinking if we had the total distance, if I shot it from the ground
Yeah.
and it followed that path, yes.
That's still on.
Then you have to add the two, which is another type of question. Okay? So how can I find the horizontal distance when the basketball is 4.5 meters above the ground?
It's the same thing. It's
Multiply by 3.
Sorry? Same thing, but what?
Yeah.
So
Be confident in your answers.
Always.
Yeah, just change one.
Change
Change
C to
4.5 instead of 1.
Well, no, I'm not shooting it here at 1.4.5. The question is when I shoot it, so where along here is 4.5 meters high? So let's say 4.5 meters is somewhere up here, 4.5. So where along here is a 4.5. How far away from me, if I'm shooting the basketball, how far away from me is it going to be 4.5 meters high?
Just substitute in the height.
For H.
Yeah, so we substitute 4.5 in for the height. We still have a formula,
And we used
b squared plus 2d plus 1.5. Okay? So how can I solve for d?
minus 4.5.
Thank you. So we're going to subtract 4.5 from each side. We get 0 equal to minus 0.25d squared plus 2d minus 3. Now you go off to solve that quadratic equation with the quadratic formula. Now you will get two answers for d which are valid. Both of your answers for d should be positive because there's really 2 points when I shoot it away from me, right? There's actually 2 points. When it's going up, it's going to hit 4.5 meters. When it's coming down, there'll be another point when it hit 4 meters, 5 meters high. Okay, so there are two valid answers for this one. I don't have time to work it out. We have 5 minutes left. Okay, so feel free to work on it at home. If the answers repeat. We don't have time for this. I'll just scaffold this one, and then you can kind of see where you can proceed for this. So a rectangular part that measures this distance, this dimension, 100 meters by 60 meters. So what's the first thing you're going to do?
Draw a rectangular part.
Thank you.
Read the question.
60, 100. We want a path of constant width to be paved around the perimeter. So basically inside this park, but around the perimeter. But we don't want to reduce the grass by 10%. So what is the maximum allowable width of the path? Do you have an answer for me?
No. First, this is 10%.
Okay, write down the question first. Do you have a question down?
So, wait,
So,
around the, you write the question down?
no, do the diagram. Write the question down. So we'll put a path in this area, in this park, so that's the perimeter for the park, for the new size park. So basically we want to add in right? We want to add in a path that's x width long. Okay? The mayor doesn't want that path to reduce the grass by more than 90%. Okay? So what is the area? What is the area of that blue rectangle? How can I calculate the area of that blue rectangle?
Yes.
Well, the mayor wants us to look at it.
What's the area of the blue rectangle?
X squared.
Well, it's length times width, right? What's the length? What's this length? It's not x. X is the width of my path.
Divided by 0.1.
Sorry?
Divided by 0.1.
No. Your length is 60 minus 2x.
Where
Right?
is length going?
The length, oh, sorry, it's 100. Sorry, 100 minus 2x.
Wait, what? Oh.
Because if this whole thing is 100, I'm subtracting x from one path on the one side, x for the width of the path on the other side. So 100 minus 2x. What's the width of the other one?
60 minus
60 minus 2x. Well, what's the area? What's the actual area?
Maybe 6,000.
Well, it does, the area of the black rectangle is 6,000, but we want the area of the blue rectangle to be no less than 10%. So what's the area of the black rectangle? The area of black rectangle, is 60 times 600, or 60 times 100. So 6 6,000, so what's 90% of that? So 6,000 times 0.9 is 5,400. Right? So this area cannot be any less than 9,600 square. So now we want to go off and solve for x. Okay?
How's it 96? That's bigger than the area for the surrounding.
Yeah.
I must be hungry. I'm looking at those vultures too. 5,400. So same idea, you go off and you solve for x now. Okay.
Oh, you make that.
So you expand it, bring the 5,400 over to the other side so it's 0, and then find the value of x with the quadratic formula. I'm guessing you might want to try to factor, you might want to try to complete the square, right? But since we want the value of x, quadratic formula is going to work. Stop writing on me? Not a good thing. So you can just sit over here. This for homework?